everyone. My name is Leonard, and I want to welcome you today. We are interviewing the author of a brand new musical called Futures.
They couldn't be my true love. You make me believe you really could be mine.
We hear futures calling, where and when and how are you? Is this the day I finally meet you? Yes, it's you know who. It's not the first time that I've seen you, 'cause you live in my mind, but now it's our time.
Michael Childs, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. So I want to know a little bit about this musical. Tell me about the genre of the musical. When and where is it set?
It is set anytime, any place. It is modern in the fact that it takes place now. It's not in a past decade or anything. It's not a period piece. But it's very relatable to now. The style of the musical, I would compare it to, if I had to relate it to another musical, I would say similar to maybe a Rent or maybe to a Spring Awakening, in that it's contemporary. You're going to have your very classical musical theater sounding music, you're going to have pop music, you're going to have a little bit of blues, you're going to have some jazz, some gospel, so there's a little bit, it's an amalgam of musical styles.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. I feel charmed. Stand at every woman in the world as a
Styles, and that's done very strategically because I do not like just one style. I like every style.
That's great. So Michael, tell me about your inspiration for this show, Futures.
Well, at the onset, the inspiration for the show was being in my musical theater class where I go to school, and looking around at all of the immense talent that I was sitting among, and I really wanted to write a song essentially for each person in my class, or something for each person in my class. I wanted to create something that they could each grab a hold of and really excel at, and the challenge for me was going to be to tailor it and streamline it to each of them specifically. And so that was kind of the impetus behind the show, and then that turned into, well, you have all of these songs, how about we turn it into a music review? And then that evolved into, well, let's just turn it into a musical, and because that's what we do. And so it's been a great process. Every day I feel like I'm inspired in a different way, because I'll write something, the next day I hand it to a singer, and then they sing, and heaven opens, and something new comes, and it develops even further. So it started off as a very small, embryonic size idea, and it's just grown and grown and grown every day.
I hear my future calling, yes, it's me, please say you're there. So glad to finally meet you, yes, I'm fine, just slightly scared, but I am ready to step in to places I have never been. We are ready to begin.
Well, it sounds like it runs the gamut, right?
Absolutely.
Of style and experience.
Absolutely.
And stories. How many characters are in this piece?
There are 13 principal characters, and so kind of a large cast. And you follow their stories. We start from graduation. They're all musical theater artists, and the show opens day one, graduation. And so we start right at the cusp of their future, and we go forward from there. And you get to see the ins and outs of their lives, some of the decisions that they've made, both good and constructive. And you get to see them come back to their alma mater to perform one last time together, even though they don't necessarily all get along anymore and don't necessarily all look at life the same way or practice things the same way. They all have to get along, just like in life. We all have to get along.
Right. So they've moved and grown forward on their own paths.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And futures can be about a lot of different things, can it? It could be your life path. It can be your actual economic future, your emotional future.
That's the advantage of this show, is that so many characters, you would think with futures, because they're all musical theater artists, that they all go off into that direction, but that's not necessarily so, as you and I both know. In real life, you can go to school and learn about how to be an actor, singer, dancer, and you may wind up accounting somewhere, and that's the way of the world. And so you see that with these characters. Some of them go on to dance in New York, and some stay exactly where they are and continue to do what they do. So it's a very realistic outlook on what the life of a musical theater performer can be like.
Great. Now, tell me a little bit about your collaboration with Michael Serrecchia. Michael is the director and choreographer for the piece.
Who I adore.
And he's had a lot of experience in this industry, right? He was in the original chorus line, and his career's catapulted from there. And we're very lucky to have him in this community as an actor, as well as a director and teacher and choreographer. So tell me a little bit about your collaboration with him.
Michael Serrecchia is just a slice of heaven. I adore that man so much because he's so giving and so willing to help. When I first presented the idea of Futures to him, he was very supportive, I mean right away. And I was kind of taken back. I didn't necessarily expect for him to be quite so supportive of the idea of presenting something new and growing something organically. And that really meant a lot that he had that type of faith in the material, in the work, in me personally. That meant a lot to me personally. So working with him, he is the type of director that will get everything that he needs out of you without raising his voice once, without raising his hand once. He doesn't need to intimidate you because he's Michael Serrecchia. So you're going to do what he says because why wouldn't you?
Some people even think he could be the King of Kings. Do you know the man named Jesus? Do you know the man?
Absolutely, absolutely.
He's been such a kind. He'll give me suggestions. He'll tell me what works and what doesn't work, and that's what I've needed. I love feedback, and so I look to him a lot for that. And he'll show me exactly what works, what doesn't, why it works, why it doesn't. And so learning, sitting under his wing and just learning and absorbing from him has been the most valuable thing that I think I could have possibly taken away from this experience.
Great, and I keep hearing that word collaboration, which is kind of what we want in life and in art, right? So tell me, all through this collaborative process for you, what have you gleaned the most from, what are you going to take away from this experience?
What I will take away from this experience is a greater faith in myself, I think first and foremost, because this was an idea that I honestly didn't think would happen. And so when doors started to open up and things started to happen, I thought, oh my gosh, this is really happening. Oh my gosh, so I have to be prepared. Oh gosh, so are all the songs written? Is everything written? So a great sense of preparation. You know, they say that there is no luck, there is preparation intersecting with opportunity. And that's what I was I'm very grateful to have been given that opportunity. And I was ready to go, and that's what I will take away from this, is that you always have to be ready any moment of the day. I don't know what producers will be in this audience to see this show. I don't know what the next step of this show is going to be, what the next level is going to be, but I'm much more prepared now than I was prior to. I will take the idea of collaborating and giving and taking from a cast of people, from a series of dancers, from an amazing director and producer, what it is like to operate on a professional level. I'm taking that away from this. And above all, I think I'm taking away the fact that these are real stories that we've created about real people, and as we're sitting in a rehearsal and people are sitting in the audience, other cast members, and they're crying and they're laughing during funny moments and they're really being touched, it's sort of surreal because I'm sitting at the piano thinking, oh my gosh, I wrote this, this is so strange. But it's great. It's an amazing experience that I will never ever forget.
Great. Well, it's been a wonderful opportunity for you, for the other students here, and it's going to be a real blessing in our lives. I'm very excited about getting to see it for the first time next week, and I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so very much. I can't wait. And you have a VIP seat in the front waiting for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I would like to personally extend a very warm invitation to all of you to come and see our opening night, or any night of our fabulous run of Futures. We will run on November 13, 14, 15, 20, 21, and 22 in the Black Box Theater of the KD Conservatory. At the end of the show, I truly believe that you will have a greater understanding of who you are individually. We're all born not to just exist, but we are born to fulfill a certain purpose, each and every single one of you. And I hope that if you don't already know what that is, that you can come and get a little bit of inspiration in trying to figure out what that is. We're all on a journey. We're all in different places in our journey, but we're all headed somewhere. And so whatever that gift is for you, I would just pray and hope that it's ignited in you, it's inspired, and that you feel empowered to go out and get it. Because guess what? Only you can fulfill what you're supposed to do. That's what all of these characters on stage are learning. That's what I personally have learned. And hopefully that's what you will learn and what you will take away from the show as well. I can't wait to see you there.